Okay, is everything okay on this? Okay. I think I'm good. Okay. I was asked to do another video again here. I know it's been a while since I do videos here, but I do apologize. I just really try to fit them in wherever I can possibly get them in as far as creating videos is concerned. And again, like I said, I'm like on an irregular schedule now, so pretty much I, just do what I can whenever I can. But when there's a video or a topic or something I'm asked to actually give my take on, I have to, I want to just go ahead and just kind of give my take on stuff, Again, if it's asked, and then sometimes even if it's not, my opinion is not asked, I'll still give it anyway, based on what it is and how strongly I feel about the situation. But everybody's up in arms here, and everybody, some folks been, want to know my particular take on the issue regarding President Trump. I don't really like to refer to him as my president, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But anyway, his take on, or his recent statement that he tweeted as far as transgenders and the military, and that he does not want anybody that is transgender to be in any type of way affiliated with the military. Again, it may not be word for word, but you pretty much get the gist of it, because again, it's all over, social media, and basically, everybody pretty much is up in arms regarding this. But again, I'm not concerned about what everybody else think. I'm going to go ahead and give my take on it since I was asked to do so. There's just certain things that I figured that is just good, what we would call, when I was in the Marine Corps, good order and discipline. And again, some things is just, it is what it is. And basically, I understand that we're living in a time now, and in an age now where everything is free. We're supposed to accept everything, and whatever it is, we're supposed to accept it with open arms, as long as it doesn't present itself as being harmful. Basically, it's all about, pretty much allowing it to be. But in my opinion, I might not agree with everything that President Trump stands for, and I do think that he's out to really undo everything that President, or the former President Obama, actually did, just because he really wants to boast his shoulders, so to speak. But I have to actually give him his props on this one. I don't, again, agree with everything that he says or does, but with this here, I'm going to have to say that, he gets my 100% approval, because number one, the military in and of itself, and I can speak of the military because I was a Marine, and basically the military has a tremendous burden on its shoulders. Number one, aside from the fact that they're actually entrusted with, securing America's freedoms and protecting, America against, foreign, lands and that sort of thing, there's a tremendous, responsibility that's placed on the military as being what it used to be in, as far as tradition goes, a lean, mean fighting force, that, and that's not to say that women are not supposed to be a part of that. But again, just overall speaking, it's all about being pure, all about being, getting the things in order to actually make it where it's actually mission ready, mission capable, and actually able to go out and do a mission without any issues regarding it. Regarding its, I guess whatever it's supposed to do, which again is to protect, the America's best interest, and all this other type of stuff. But when you're actually squabbling over something that is really, I think that is really not, that really should not even be a part of this particular unique organization, which we're calling the military or the Department of Defense, however you want to look at it. I think that really, again, there's just some things that really should not be a part of it. The last thing that a person wants, and I'm just going to be real with you for just a moment. I'm not homophobic. Although, people in past videos may have called me one based upon some of the things that I've actually had to say regarding that lifestyle. But again, I'm not fixing to rehash that. If you want to, you can go back and look at whatever videos it was that I was talking about, and you'll see, how I break it down and explain it, whatever the case may be. But my main thing is that the last thing that America needs is for someone to actually want to change their gender, and pretty much have someone to accept it. And the thing about it, again, is that I believe that that particular lifestyle does interfere with the overall goal of the military, which is mission accomplishment, mission readiness. Some people, and like I say, I hate to say some people, but I'll put it this way. You have a lot of folks that are uncomfortable with serving, with actually being around folks who are who are practicing that lifestyle, who was born one gender, but wants to be another one. And the thing about it is that when you put them in close quarters with someone who actually has that particular outlook as far as transgender, gay, bi, whatever it is, it can cause a major issue as far as military operations. I was actually having a conversation with a fellow employee, again, a co-worker, I would say. And basically, he was saying for the most part that, he does not like how President Trump actually did this because basically, it's all about being accepted. Let them live their lives. Let them do what they want to do. He's referring to the transgenders. And on the surface, I agree with everything that he's saying. But the issue is, one thing about it is that the world has become so much accepting that they're wanting to change the face of everything, all because they're wanting everything to be free and loving. And the issue is there are just some things that, again, that I feel that really that should stay as it is in a military where men are supposed to be men and women are supposed to be women. It wasn't long ago when I got out of the military, before I got out, they had the don't ask, don't tell policy where, that was developed, I think by, was it Clinton? I think it was, where, even if you were suspected as being a homosexual, whatever the case may be, that wasn't something for you to proudly tell someone, or that could be grounds for you to have a dishonorable discharge. And of course, you would lose all of your federal benefits and such like that. But when Obama came on the scene, he made this so, he wanted to change the policy to make everything so friendly where, and I think it was just a tactic to get him back in the seat again, to serve his second term, that he wanted, that he made it legal for folks who to serve, openly gay. Now, that was just the starting point of a whole lot of stuff that actually is what we're at today. So now that, that was signed into place where, the folks were allowed to serve openly as gay. Now they're wanting men to actually, or women, maybe too, I don't know how it goes, but you have folks now that really want to change their gender and want the taxpayers' money to actually foot the bill for the most part. And I look at it this way. I am not okay with actually having my hard-earned money pay for something that is not really even necessary. And again, I might have a lot of people that may disagree with me on that. And again, it's all about, you're voicing your opinion, I'm voicing mine. The last thing I want to do is, and again, we're already being underpaid in America already, for the most part, and especially if you're black. Sorry, not being racist, but it is what it is. We even have a bigger burden of trying to, hold a household together and meet bills and still, have to have money in our pockets, and stuff like that, as opposed to, other folks who really don't have much of a struggle in that regards. But to get back to the forefront of what I'm saying is that I really think that, again, that the last thing that America needs to, the last thing that the military needs is, again, for someone to actually want to change their gender. And the next thing you're going around folks parading to be one thing when you were actually born another thing. So again, that creates confusion. That creates a lot of issues, not only, on a personal level, but on a professional level as well. How are we supposed to address you? How is somebody supposed to address you as a Mr. or a Miss? What's the deal? And on top of that, again, you're still serving along a lot of people who really act crazy when they actually have, quote unquote, those type of people around them. You got some people that will still kill, and everything because, again, they just don't condone that particular lifestyle. Now, like I say, I'm not saying to go out and kill anybody. I'm not never condoning the taking of somebody's life. But the issue is that you're looking at, you're creating an issue. You're creating a problem. And the issue is that even though America is actually wanting to sit there and call him homophobic, they want to call him the worst president there was and everything like that, simply because he's wanting to maintain and keep tradition going. That's not to say, again, that women can't serve in uniform. They can. Because guess what? These days, to tell you the truth, in uniform, to me, it sickens me. It really sickens me because the minute that Obama actually allowed people to serve openly, okay, that's one thing. It took a while for me to accept that. But again, I'm not serving in the military, so either way, it doesn't affect me. But it's just the fact, just thinking about it. All those people who are actually serving their country, having to sit there and witness two people of the same gender kissing and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, even though it's widely accepted now, to me, it's still unnatural. It just is. And to go ahead and say that, okay, we're going to put you in uniform and allow you to behave that way, it's weakening what is actually supposed to be put together to be strong. Again, that's just my take on it. You don't have to agree. Like I say, it is what it is. Like I say, I'm a big boy. I can take whatever comment, and everything else, because again, it doesn't matter. This is my platform and I'll say whatever the hell I want to say. But the issue is that, there's going to be, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to have a lot of people who are transgender who may be, who may have some sort of pull in society that may come against this and try to do everything they can to actually have it, if it's actually signed into law, to have it where they can go back and fight against it, to have it reversed, so people can still, transgenders can actually serve proudly, as they say, through the Department of Defense. I really don't like talking about things like this. But again, it's needed. And the thing about it again is that this particular lifestyle, transgender, gay, bi, whatever, is actually making its rounds, is trying to really overtake. And again, I will say this, it's going back to the signs of the end times. And the thing about it is that for some reason I've been studying that, Book of Revelations, I've been going back in it and really just reading and just reviewing again some of the things that I've actually read before in past, and just kind of, going back and just brushing up on some things. And again, that particular lifestyle is one of the signs of the times. Again, people, men leaving their natural affection for women and burning their lust upon the same gender, and the same thing with women. And the sad part about it again is that not only has this caught on, because again, you can see this in every part of society where you go to, from the schoolhouses all the way to wherever, you're going to still run into somebody that is living that lifestyle somewhere along the way. But the issue is that when you're actually putting it and actually translating this over into America's readiness force, which is the military, that's when you're going to have a problem. And even though Trump's reasoning for doing it may be flawed, I think he's only doing it again because he wants to really show that he has the muscles to undo what a Democrat did. Even if that's the case, which I do think it is, but even if that's the case, I still agree with him, as far as what it actually stands for, not necessarily his reasonings for doing it. It's just crazy. It's just crazy that we even actually have to talk about something like this. Somebody, is not happy with their gender, so they want to become someone else. I mean, if you really think about it, and I'm not trying to stray too far from the subject, but if you think about it, that's what it is. I'm not happy the way God made me, so I'm going to do what I can to change what God did, because of course he made a mistake. I may look like this on the outside, but I feel like a certain opposite gender on the inside, so I actually have to undo what God did. It's amazing the things of how our thought process is when you actually break things down and see it for what it is, not because of what you want it to be, but to actually see it for what it is. That's pretty much what it's all about. If you think about it and break it down in a nutshell, that's what it is. God made a mistake. My Bible teaches me that God doesn't make mistakes. The thing about it, everything he does is for a reason. Like I said, there are some things that we would call, quote unquote, a freak of nature, but hey, it is what it is. But when it comes to who God made you to be, man or woman, and I'm not talking about creatures that live in the sea and all this other type of stuff, because you got people that will go a whole world and back with different examples of other stuff to try to prove you wrong. But the thing about it is that it always comes back to the very basic surface. God made a man and God made a woman. If he wanted you to be a woman, he would have made you one. If he wanted you to be a man, he made you that too. It's just crazy, again, that we're living in an era now where tradition now is being broken, all because of the acceptance of something new. People got to understand something here. I mean, that's why America is in the shape that it's in. That's why America is actually on its way spiraling down. As far as the quality of life, living, everything is on its way down. The quality is down because guess what? They've forgotten and thrown out the basics of everything that's going to keep everything running at an acceptable manner, and that's the Word of God. You bring God into any type of situation, guess what? Somebody's going to get angry. Somebody's going to say, oh, you are trying to force my religion on you. I done had it said to me, and I done had it, somebody tried to beat me across my head. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you about what the Word of God says. You can read it for yourself. You carry the same Bible that I read, so what's the issue? A lot of times when we don't want to accept something, we make up things to try to rationalize and reason it so it can make sense to us. And then we pass that on as our truths when that's not what it's all about. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off subject. I just wanted to kind of give my, a little take on there, because again, I'm pretty sure, again, a lot of folks are going to have a lot of stuff to say about this. And I'm sure that this topic is going to be making its rounds on social media. I know I'm not going to be the only one that made a video about, Trump's decision to, ban transgender folks from serving in the military in any type of a capacity. This is going to be very interesting weeks ahead. Peace out, folks. I'll talk with you later.